everybody, it's about that time. Shayna Stone will be live with Ladies and Family Television tonight. Join us now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Shayna Stone with Ladies in Film and Television, and we're on day 3 of our interviews. It has been a dynamic week. I am so excited to be here with you, and we're going to be closing out this week with some amazing interviews. I am looking forward to being with you all today. So let's just do a brief recap of what we had going on this week. We've interviewed our CEO, Ms. Jeanette Greenwood. We've interviewed Monique Swanson, Gita DeCastro, Alice Williams, all this week. So we have amazing interviews coming up for you today as well. Our first interview today is going to be Miss Cookie. Aretha Ragster is here with us today. She is a native of Fort Worth, Texas, and is going to be telling us more about her role in Sea Blues. Hi, how are you today, Aretha?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I am so excited to have you here today. What an amazing opportunity to interview you today. So let me just see here. Where are you in the world today? Looks like you in the car, but where are you city-wise, state-wise?
I live in Fort Worth, Texas, where I was born and raised. Okay. I've never lived anywhere else. This is where I am. This is where I'm rooted and grounded.
Hey, Fort Worth is in the house today. So I just want to read a little bit about you. So it says that you are indeed a Fort Worth native. You are a strong Christian woman who upholds the statutes of her beliefs, and you are also an entrepreneur. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Lots of good accomplishments here. So tell me more about what role you played in Sea Blues. What's your character's name?
My character's name is Lena. Lena is a little bit messy. She pretty much speaks her mind, and she stands her ground. She's one of those no hold bars people. Mm-hmm. She's gonna say exactly what it is she's thinking.
Wow. Well, it's people like that in our family all the time. We got everybody. Yeah. There's somebody that can relate to Alina. I can relate to her. Alina. I ain't gonna say her name out loud, but it's my sister who come and visit me like in a couple of days.
And that's Lena. You cannot mess with her family. You can't mess with her sister. She got her sister's back.
Yeah, no doubt. So what season are you in? Are you in season 1? Can we expect Lena back in season 2?
I was in season 1, and Lena is back full throttle season 2.
And that's exciting to know. So, they only gave me a sneak peek. I've only seen season 1. I was definitely drawn into your character. Like I said, she reminded me of somebody I know. I don't say no names. But, all of the characters are so relatable. I say this every time. There's someone in each scene that reminds me of someone I know. And that is the same example, with your character, Lena. How long have you been acting?
I have been acting, I think, since about 2012, 2014, somewhere off in there. I started with stage plays with Miss Jeanette. My first major role was a character, Mama May, in her play Don't Bully Me. And that play ran for a few years, and it was a really powerful play, very meaningful, and carried a lot of lesson in it. And that helped me to get to know Jeanette as a writer and as a director. And she just carries the ability to pull things out of me as an actor, because I'm not professionally or trained or what have you, but she has worked with me and has cultivated me and cultured me and has helped me to develop a gift. And to enhance the gift that's already there. And
Yes.
I'm so thankful for that, because everybody don't take that kind of time with you when you don't, when you don't know anything about the trade, or you don't know anybody in the business. People don't take that kind of time with you to cultivate you and to show you and to teach you, and she does.
Yeah, what's interesting is that is a very common story that I've been hearing about Miss Jeanette since I've started. That she is an extraordinary visionary, and she can see. It's almost like she has this sixth sense. Now I
Yeah,
sound a little creepy, but she can see us or see people, as their higher selves, and what God has put into them. It may be buried a little deep in there, and she sees it, but she knows how to cultivate. I
yeah,
think that's the right word, and nurture that person so that they can, they let themselves shine.
yeah,
You said a lot of things. You are absolutely right. For me being in the industry, in and out of the industry, I never heard of anyone take that time individually with her talent and build them up. Like you said, well, if you go to an acting class, most people would just be like, okay, next. But she cultivated, worked with you, and helped you identify your strengths and to encourage you to keep going.
yes.
That's a blessing. That is just amazing. And I keep hearing that same thing, about her interview after interview. That's really, really amazing. So, and then I want to commend you because you said, oh, I'm not a professional. Yes, you are. You definitely are. So I want to say that this
Thank you.
is this is your profession. You are an actress. There's no aspiring. You are,
Thank you. I
Yes, you're
appreciate
welcome.
that. I
I just
appreciate
wanted
that.
to point that out. And you started in the hardest arena. So I heard you mention that you started in the theater in front
Yes.
of people. You don't get that cut and do another take on the stage. You know what I'm saying? So for
Yeah.
you to have started in the hardest arena, which is a theatrical, starting in theater in front of people and audience, and you learning upstage, downstage, right stage, left stage. Oh my God. I'm thinking about theater. I'm getting I'm gonna like having how do you call it? I can't have a nightmare and I'm not asleep, but I'm having flashbacks. So now you move from theater to the main screen. Tell me, what is the difference? Did you notice the difference between acting on the stage versus film?
The rehearsals are less, but
Right.
I do, like you said, we do have the opportunity to um do retakes. I can
Yeah.
retake it again. On the stage, if I messed up, I had to wing it. I had to, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, just, go from the hip. For with the camera, I can
Mm-hmm.
stop the camera, go back and read the line again and get it right. So that's one of the major differences. And it's like doing the lighting, doing the green screen, doing, all of the different stuff. And Miss Jeanette is, and Mr. Freddie telling us all this different stuff to do, and just giving us all this guidance and telling us, how, because we're self-filming. We're filming
Wow.
ourselves. None of us have been in the same place. It may look like it once you see the final
Yes.
product that we filmed everything together, but none of I have not met any, not, other than the people that I knew before. None
Yes.
of the people who are in this play, I have not met them face to face yet. And for us to have the kind of chemistry that we have without ever meeting face to face, that comes from good leadership. And
Yes.
you can't get that kind of chemistry. It just comes natural
Yeah.
when you have somebody that's leading you and guiding you. Even when Miss Catrina comes on, Dr. Catrina, when she
Yes.
comes on and gives us her little, I mean, Miss Catrina, she come in there and do her little cuts, her little cake slices, and tell us what's what, and she be out of there. She say what she have to say, and she done with it. But we know what to do, and we come back and we do it. And that builds that chemistry between the actors, and it
Absolutely.
causes us to give a good product.
Yeah, and it shows. So what did you like most about filming virtually? I heard you mention that, everybody shot their own footage at home. What did you like the most about that process?
That I can do it at my own pace. I'm not
Yeah.
on somebody else, other than, the deadlines that we have to get stuff turned in. I can do stuff. I don't have to be somewhere at a certain time. I can, film it at my own pace. If I mess it up, I can go back and redo it. I send it in. They tell me, oh, this needs to be redone. I can go
Yeah.
back and redo it. I don't have to go somewhere to redo it if it's not done right. So that's made it a lot easier.
Yeah. Is there anything that you didn't like about the process of filming at home?
I'm a people person, so I think just not having that in-person contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I think that's really the most common thing I've heard, because most actors and actresses, we are people person. So just not being around people, I think that's probably was the most difficult part for many people. So other than yourself, it's a ton of amazing characters in Sea Blues. Who is your favorite character and why?
I would have to say my favorite character would be my most hated character. The
Uh-oh.
one that I bump heads with
Uh-oh.
the most, Mr. Matthew. I just want to strangle him. But he is
Yes.
so funny. He is so hilarious.
Yes, Mr. Funny Man himself. We got him
Yes.
coming up later on the show today. That is hilarious. And we already talked about how long you've been acting. Tell me, what is next for you, Aretha? What you got coming up next? So you got Sea Blues season 1 under your belt. You got Sea Blues season 2 under your belt. Is there anything you have coming up that you want to share with us?
I do have a couple of talk shows. I did a virtual late night adult talk show, and I have one that's coming up that we're getting ready to start recording for. Actually, I don't even have the name of this talk show
Okay,
yet.
yeah, that's fine.
But I will keep everybody posted once I get it and once we start recording, so that people will know when to tune in to those. I like the talk show arena, just to just to get stuff out, just to talk it out, talk it
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
So that
So
I like doing that.
I've been asking this question for a couple of days now. I was talking about the pandemic, and I wanted to know if you anything what share something with me. Share something positive. That happened during the pandemic, like working from home, and you decided to give acting another chance. Was there anything during this pandemic that inspired you to give something another shot, or for you to care and nurture yourself in a different way? Is there anything that you can share with us that inspired you during our time in this pandemic?
I think the pandemic did give me more me time.
Mm-hmm.
It did allow me time to myself, time with my family. And it did, when the opportunity came up for me to be able to do Sea Blues, I jumped on it. First of all, I thought it was a phenomenal idea.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when everything started to unfold, I knew, yes, that was a good choice. But just to be able to be involved in this project and to just be able to get closer to my family and communicate more with my friends and just get take better care of me.
Yeah. So a lot of self-reflection, like many of us,
Yes.
and then also you were able to get back to you and land a role in a web series, Sea Blue. So it looks like we have your Instagram. We have Aretha Ragster. It says your Instagram is at personally underscore yours underscore by underscore Aretha. So be sure to follow Miss Aretha on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It was such a pleasure to interview you.
Likewise. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Shayna. You have a good night.
You too. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I got the first interview underway today for day 3 of interviews with the cast and crew of C Blues. I am so excited to be here today. Another day of amazing interviews with the cast and crew of C Blues. Let me take a look at this roster. I think I know who I have coming up next, and I am so excited for this interview. I think it's Mr. Funny Man himself. I've been hearing about him all week, so I am ready. I am so excited to interview Sir Drake himself. I am so excited. We have Michael Drake Sr. coming up next. Hello, Sir Drake. Welcome. How are you today?
Hello. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good too. That's what's up. So where are you in the world?
Right now I'm at the house, just chilling
In
and
the house.
just trying to stay corona free. So hey, I'm in the house hiding now.
Is that house in Texas?
Yeah.
All
I'm in
right.
actually in the city where the Cowboys roam, Dallas Cowboys. So I'm right there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give them their plug.
All right. Okay.
Let everybody know I'm a Cowboy fan.
Cowboy fan. All right.
Right.
It is what it is. I hear you. Your name precedes you because I already know exactly who you are, and I'm so excited to interview you because I've been warned and I like a challenge. So I'm excited to have you here. So before we get started, can you tell us your role or your character's name in C Blues?
Oh, okay. Well, I actually my role is my character name is Matthew, and I am the husband. Patricia, I'm married, but some married men don't act like they're married. So that was my role. I was out there pretty much doing things I don't need to be doing behind the scenes, cheating on my wife, and got caught up in a whole bunch of other stuff, and end up having some extra activity come along because of that extra activity. And so it became a scenario where, hey, I would just, Matthew was out of line, and he had to get checked eventually. And so that's where we at. He's a cheater.
Nah, it's all good. It's such a relatable character. Matthew is somebody that we know. It is what it is. It's a part of life. One thing, I was watching you, and it was just such a realness. It's like sitting there watching my uncle or my dad, and there was just a vulnerability about Matthew, your character. We all make mistakes, and we all fall short of our expectations. But in the midst of that, the character still had this amazing witty humor and comedic timing. So I'm just want to know more. Tell me more about your comedic history. I understand that you are a former semi-professional football player, but in addition to that, you're also a comedian. So tell me how you were able to incorporate those comedic skills into the character Matthew.
Actually, it was with the writers, with Jeanette and everything. She gave me the opportunity to ad lib a little bit, with the script. She just pretty much set things up and allow me to add a little bit here and there to enhance it. And so, bottom line, with the character himself, and then portraying him, and the way he acts is the way I want to portray. It's kind of how I portray myself. Kind of, he kind of loud, and then he want to be heard. And then at the same time, he could be, he come off a certain way, and then you can be mad at him, but at the same time, he gonna say something that's gonna make you laugh, even if he's being serious, And so, the way I went into it, it was just, pretty much that way, and just try to add to it, and then with the character, just enhance it. And so with my comedy, that's what came in is when I felt I need to make something, because I was trying to wishy-washy with it. I'm like, okay, what I need to try to be funny, but at the same time still looking serious. Cause like at the same time, when you a comedian on stage, when you do your jokes, you as a comedian already done laughed at your jokes.
Yeah,
Most comedians, I don't say a joke on stage unless I done laughed at it first. If I ain't laughed at it, it ain't funny. So by the time I distribute the joke to the audience, I got this serious face. And while everybody laughing, I'm looking like I'm normally looking, like, and I'm still into my act. And so that's how I was trying to incorporate Matthew with being serious, but at the same time, I'm gonna throw something sly and funny in there, but he's still gonna be looking serious.
And that's what makes it so funny. I was immediately drawn into your character, and I'm like, do he know he this funny? Do he know he that funny? What? It was so funny because you were so serious at the same time, and I'm like, wow, what's his backstory? He has to be a comedian in real life. And when I got your bio, sure enough, it says you are a comedian. I'm just sitting here looking. You've worked with some amazing people, with Martin Lawrence show, and Steve Harvey, Earthquakes Comedy Corner. I mean, these are amazing accomplishments. Do you plan to still incorporate your comedic background? Does Matthew get funnier? I mean, I don't know if Matthew can even get funnier in season 2, but I mean, I'm gonna ask anyway.
Right.
Is he gonna get funnier?
Well, and that was the hard part. It's like when you're trying to do a sequel, then it's like, oh, you don't want to let people down. And because okay, everybody cut for Matthew the first time. I'm like, oh, now when I first did it, when Miss Jeanette Greenwood introduced me and brought me in, it was just for like it wasn't even supposed to be that long. But I nailed like I'm in our acting class. But let everybody know Miss Greenwood's the next acting class. Gave me some skills, some pointers, and everything. So therefore, when she always said, hey, whenever you get a role, regardless of how small it is, you make it happen. It can lead to the bigger things. And so what happened was I was just thinking I was just gonna do one episode, but then where I brought it and enhanced it, they wanted to bring Matthew back.
Wow. So let me get this straight. You thought you were just coming to do one episode. Matthew was so dang on good, you stayed for the whole series?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. It surprised me, but they was cutting for it, so
wow.
I just kept on flowing with it, and then now they got me up for the sequel, and I don't want to disappoint. So it was kind of, I hope I can bring it, and I'll, maybe think a little bit more, but we'll see.
Yeah, we don't want to give it all away because I only seen season 1, but this is just amazing that you had this opportunity and one thing turned into another. Ultimately, you're here with us today. What an amazing story. So tell me, what was it like filming from home? Everybody's been filming from home virtually. What was that process like for you?
Actually, for me, it was great. Even though I'm used to live audience, and then when I was trying to throw my comedic parts in there, I really don't know how it's gonna be perceived. Like an episode, the first series, and it came out right, and so now when I'm trying to do the same thing again, I don't know how it's gonna be perceived. But when you're on stage, you get your reaction live right then and there. Right. So I won't know how I'm gonna come off until it's actually, it's shown and come off.
Okay. So filming from virtually was okay. Is there like anything that you didn't like about filming from home? Like, was there anything you were kind of frustrated with?
No, actually everything went pretty good other than, my son, he's in Corona Blues also, and he's an actor also. Actually, y'all wouldn't even know nothing about me if it wasn't for him. It's how he got me. He got me back into the game because he wanted to be an actor, and then I got behind him, and then before long, me and Jeanette got to talking, and then that's how I got into where I'm at now.
Wow.
As far as he did, My son does all my filming for me.
Okay,
I'm
so
not really.
it's a family affair, right?
Pretty much. Cause he does he does. I'm not like some of these actors out there that can do like him. They do their own personal uh slates and film and everything. So he does it all for me. But me and him done had a. When I got out of my lane, he had to straighten me out because I'm trying to tell him how to do things and I don't really know how to do things. So we got into a little disagreement. We had to call Jeanette and I had to bow down because he told me basically told me, be quiet and do what he tell you to do because you don't know what you talking about. I said, yes, ma'am. I listened to him. So I had
Oh
to,
my
hey,
gosh.
other than that, hey, it's been fun. No
It's
problem, you
been
know.
fun. That's what's up. So,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about Matthew and how, he is a relatable character, how he reminds me of my Uncle Ray Ray. I mean, like, other than your character, who's your favorite character in Sea Blues?
And Sea Blues,
Yeah.
it's a lot of them. I mean, that was bringing it, but I'm gonna have to say the one is I'm gonna go with Lena because she was my nemesis, and so then of course
Yes.
she was making me create a little bit more when having to deal with her, So she brought out some good stuff in Matthew also. So I'm
Yes.
gonna go with her, and then of course I got to go with my son, and what he did, because like I say, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even probably be in the mix right now.
That's amazing. Like the chemistry between you and Lena and how you guys were able to draw up and all the back and forth with you all.
Mm-hmm.
How did that chemistry come about? Like, did you guys talk on the phone in between takes or text message? Because it was just so much organic chemistry between a lot of the characters in this. I'm mind boggled because everybody is in their own home and some in different states, but still was able to create that chemistry. You feel me?
Right, right.
How do you think that came about?
Well, with me and Lena, it was funny because you like whenever we have rehearsals, we have to actually we got the script right, and then like I say, Jeanette gave us the first one, gave us the freedom to ad lib a little bit, and then with me and Lena, we see what's down there. So whenever we interact, and then she would come in and she'll throw something in there was like a little hard. I'm like, oh, for real? I don't, I'll be like, I know you didn't say that because I know she ad-libbed it. And so that's when I was like, oh, okay, well, I got something for you coming up. Guess what? And so she was bringing stuff out of me where I was going to reflect back toward her.
Wow.
And so that's how that vibe connected, even though we never orchestrated nothing together, talked on the phone or whatever. We just did the Zoom rehearsal. And then I see where she was going to be coming from. And then I like, oh, okay. So this is how we go roll with it, and it just flowed, and it just got good with it.
Yeah, it definitely got good with it. What an amazing performance! What an amazing character! I can't wait to see more. So, what do you have going on next? What's coming up? So you got Sea Blues under your belt. You got
Right.
that going on. What do you have coming up next that you can share with us? Like, what else can we expect from Cedric?
Actually, I'm not sure, but I want to see what I can continue to do as far as acting or whatever, moving along with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as doing what I actually do best is with hit the stage. Uh, I got a show coming up. Well, I'm waiting on the guy to get back with me. He wanted me to
Okay.
do some in San Antonio in July, and so
Wow.
he's setting everything up and working out some details, and he's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be back with me. And other than that, once I start doing that, I'm gonna start moving forward and start trying to. Actually, I'm trying to just get back into comedy.
Yes.
That pandemic, shut everything down, and I ain't really too, open right now about getting into the mix with a lot of people like that. So I'm kind
Right.
of slowly for to move forward with it.
Right.
But eventually, I'm gonna get there, and then once I get to making it happen, everybody they gonna know what's happening. So you can contact me on Instagram at Surgery3. I'll be posting some stuff on there once I really get active. But other than that, hey, I'm really trying to do what I do best.
That's what's up. You gonna do what you do when you do it, right?
When I do it, make it
Right,
happen.
right. That's what's up. So make sure to follow Sir Drake on Instagram. That is at Sir Drake3 on Instagram. Thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure interviewing you. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Okay, it's a pleasure talking to you. Hey, I like that pretty smile.
Thank you.
That's that Matthew in me.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, what an amazing interview, ladies and gentlemen. I had the opportunity to interview Mr. Sir Drake, aka Matthew, one of the main characters on Sea Blues. What an amazing interview, you guys. I am so excited today, and it just has been an amazing night. It's just been an amazing week. So we're going to definitely keep it moving today. I believe we have Mel McGinnis. Oh my gosh. Oh, I've been waiting for this interview. She is one of the writers from the writer's room. We have Mel McGinnis, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I know I am doing fine. I am just excited to interview you today. Where are you in this wonderful world?
I am in Cedar Hill, Texas, right outside of Dallas.
Wonderful, wonderful. Cedar Hill is in the building today. So, let me see. I have so much information, and I just want to make sure that I present it in the best way. So, Mel McGinnis, attorney,
yes,
author, poet, writer,
yes,
and motivational speaker. Is that
all
right?
of my hats, all of my hats.
All of those hats. What an amazing collection of hats they are.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is just amazing. So, an attorney, an author, a poet, a writer, publisher, sports agent, and motivational speaker. Wow, yeah. Wow. What some amazing accomplishments. So
thank you so much.
Have been brought on. You are one of the writers for Sea Blues, right?
Yes. I'm so excited
what that process was like.
Oh, it has been awesome. I'm a member of Ladies in Film and Television, LIFT, and I guess, they decided to try something new this season for Sea Blues. And actually, I'd known about Sea Blues from season 1, but I hadn't really, been completely keeping up. And we got an email from Jeanette one day saying, hey, you guys if you're on the writers team, you have an opportunity to write for season 2. And I was so excited because I'm a writer. It's what I do. And I've been mostly writing books and, poetry and speeches, speech writing, things like that. So I really wanted an opportunity to get into the film writing and, doing scripts for TV and film. And so I was extremely excited about that. So when Jeanette said there was the opportunity, I said, let's do it. I've got a million things to do, but I really want to do this. So, I was all for it.
That's amazing. So that just tells me and shows me the passion that you have. A woman that wears this many hats and say, you know what, I'm going to take time and I'm going to write because this is what I love to do. In addition to the other things, I just find that to be completely amazing. So it looks like that you were in a writing team. Could you, for the audience and for some of us who don't know, could you tell us what a writing room or a writing team consists of, and tell us what that experience was like?
Sure. And this was actually the first time that I have been in a writing team. I've written before, but it had mostly been, kind of on my own. But with the writing team, we had each, there were episodes. So basically you determine Jeanette would say, okay, we have 8 episodes to write for this season. And she broke us up into teams of 2. And so I actually had a writing partner who was just fabulous, by the way. And so I really enjoyed that. And then so each writing team, group of 2, would be assigned a particular episode. And within that episode, Jeanette had a spreadsheet, and she'd say, okay, these are the 8 characters that you're going to be writing for in this episode. So we would go into it knowing who we were going to be writing for, but not really knowing exactly what we were going to write until we kind of sat down. You know, we would have a meeting as the whole team, and then we would break out into, you know, team A, B, C, or D, whichever team you were on. And we would write specifically for that episode and for those characters in that episode. And it was just a great kind of collaboration. And then we all came together at the end for the last episode, the season finale, to write that. And so that was great too. So, it was just a wonderful experience working with other writers and collaborating and kind of coming up with ideas. You know, you bounce something off of somebody and she would say, oh, well, let's make it sound like this. And I would say, oh, well, we could do this too. And so it was just kind of great. It was great to kind of see how everybody else thinks. And depending on the character, if your character is going to be kind of reserved or kind of, you know, jazzy or kind of snooty or, you know, just all up in people's business or whatever it was just a lot of fun to collaborate and write with a writing team. So that's kind of how we did it.
That is amazing. That sounds like a very unique experience. And it sounds like a one that is creative, but it also gives you the freedom to write from your perspective. So as a writer, what is your method? So some people still, you know, write with pens and paper. Are you more techie? Are all of your writing like on your notes in your iPhone and on your iPad? Or sometimes do you pick up a pen and paper and write?
Well, honestly, it really depends on the time of day.
Okay.
You know, because I have my iPhone, I use that sometimes if I'm just kind of thinking of something, I'll think, oh, this character would say that, you know, I'll jot it down in my iPhone because I'm usually on my way to a meeting or something. And so I just, you know, just put it down and that I'll say, you know, character such and such, and then I'll put it down. And when I go back to look for it, I look for it under the name of that character. Or, you know, if I'm actually sitting down writing during my set aside times, you know, I'm a pen and paper girl. You know, I have journals everywhere. I write in the journal because I want to see it and, you know, digest it and strike through it and redline it and start over. But with this experience, we were on a really tight deadline. So we all had access to script writing software. So we would just go into the system and start just writing as we were going. And it was so funny because we were writing as a team. So sometimes some other team would also be, you know, writing at the same time in the same episode. And you could actually see the changes being made like real time. So it was really cool to do that because I had never done that part before. So because we were on such a tight schedule, you didn't really have time to write it on paper and then transfer it, you know, to the database for the script writing software. So we just would write it, you know, type it. Like with me and my partner, she did most of the typing, and, you know, I would go back and do the editing, or, you know, then we would do the talking. So it just kind of depends. But as a writer, my process is whenever it hits me, I write it down. So I always have my phone with me. I always have a notepad and a journal. Like these are the journals, and they always sit around. There's a whole bunch of them everywhere, and people buy me journals for gifts, and I get so excited. I'll be like, oh, a new journal, let me fill it up. So I start writing. So that's kind of my process. Whenever it hits me, I just write it down. You know, I can write a whole anything in a sit down because it just kind of comes out, and then I won't write for another 3 weeks. So just kind of depends on the time.
I love that. I love that you use a combination of technology. You'll grab your iPhone and put it in your notes, but as a writer, it's just something about the pen, that roller ball,
yes,
the fresh piece of paper.
And I actually have a real typewriter. And so, because my husband bought me a typewriter for Christmas a few years ago, because I like to hear the sound of the click, 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 you know, when I'm typing. I like to hear that sound. So I actually have an actual typewriter. And sometimes I write on the typewriter. You know, you go in and change the ribbon, all of that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I haven't seen a typewriter since Miss Brown's class in 7th grade.
Yeah. I love the typewriter.
Amazing. And then the authentic font. Just I can see, oh, I know that just even looks amazing. The sound is amazing. The whole thing is amazing. That is awesome that you have a typewriter. My daughter wouldn't even know what. I don't think. Well, she probably seen one on TV, but I don't know. She wouldn't even know what a typewriter is.
Yeah, most times now they're like vintage and used for decoration or something.
Right.
Actually, yes, have my typewriter and I'll take it out and use it. I just like to hear the sound of it clicking. Yeah.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So also wanted to ask, when it comes to writing, you're writing for Sea Blues, and I've been interviewing other people all this week. Lots of the characters are so relatable. They remind you of your neighbor, your aunt, your sister, your brother. Did you draw from people in your personal life to create these characters in Sea Blues?
I did for quite a few of them, and we came in on season 2, so a lot of the characters were already kind of established, and so kind of when you come in on a later episode, your job is to kind of write something that would keep in character for that character. So a lot of the characters reminded me of other people, but they also, and I'll just throw this in, I'm a lifelong watcher of The Young and the Restless. Yeah, some of the characters reminded me of some of the things that would happen on The Young and the Restless. And so I would be like, so what would Miss Chancellor say? What would she do in this situation? So a lot of the characters are so relatable to people that or other, situations that you've been in or that you've seen. So it's actually pretty easy to write for them because you're really just kind of keeping character with, what they've already done up to that point in the season, whether it be season 1 or season 2. And so I found it very refreshing to write something and have, a character say something and then to watch the rehearsal of it and to watch the actors sort of bring it to life. That was just amazing to me. I was so geeked about that.
I find that to be completely fascinating. My mom watched Young and the Restless. I remember JR and Malcolm, and I'm about to call her Drusilla.
Drusilla, yes.
Woo! So so you were able to, take something like Young and the Restless that's, personal and near and dear to you. Those characters inherently from watching it, all your life, and able to take pieces of that, or there were people that were reminiscent of those characters. I just find writing such an amazing process because it's like it's alive. It grows, it expands.
Oh yeah.
It can go from and then the character go from one layer to another layer. So what encourages you to write? So you hold the title of attorney, author, poet, writer. Where did writing come in? Was writing the first love, then law? How did you streamline all of these wonderful endeavors?
Yes, actually writing was the first love. I wrote a book that I published, my first book. I'm a published author. I published in 2018. And I start the book out by saying I fell in love with poetry at the age of 14 in Miss Tucker's 9th grade English class. And so that is when I fell in love with writing. And I literally have been writing. I was writing before then, but I really started writing when I was in 9th grade. So I was 14. And it's just always been something I love to do. And the reason I write is because it basically captures whatever's going on in the world at that moment. I think, writers, we have the vision to write about things in the future, but we also have, I think, a responsibility to capture what goes on right now. And I think that's kind of what Sea Blues is. That's what's going on in the world right now. That's where it started in season 1. And we're kind of now in season 2 where we're sort of coming out of it a little bit. But that's what this series did for me. When I went back and watched season 1, I thought about all of the different things that we had gone through and, the trauma that we've gone through collectively as a nation and as a people with the coronavirus. And so what this series did is it has captured what we've been going through, even in one of the episodes from last season with, sort of a reminiscent of the George Floyd incident. And so that's what I feel like writers do. That's why writing is so important to me, because it captures where we are. And then it lives forever in some medium. I remember I was getting ready to publish my book and I thought, oh God, please don't let me die before I get this book done, because I need it to be like, in written form so that, 20, 30 years from now, somebody will read it and know what we were going through back in 2018. And so that's why I think writing is so important, because it captures where we are.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you already answered the question that I was getting ready to ask you of what did you birth during the pandemic? Did you re-strategize? What were you able to do? Something positive. What did you birth positive? During the pandemic, everything is shut down, and many of us were working from home. Many of us were feeling like we have nothing to lose. So I'm going to revisit this, or I'm going to continue to pursue this. Is there anything that you had on the back burner that you brought to the forefront during the pandemic? Did you finish this book that you're referring to in the pandemic, or were you working on Sea Blues during that time?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that question. During the pandemic, actually, to answer part of your question, the book that I'm referring to is called Reflections of Life, and I actually finished that book in 2018 and published it then. But what came out of the pandemic was the poems that I will be publishing this fall. One of them I have already put out. It's called Folks, and it really is about dealing with racism in our country. And the other one is called Say Her Name, which is a tribute to Breonna Taylor. And so I actually have on tap for this fall a tribute of poems that I've written, starting last year in March, that have gone up through this pandemic. And it's really about a tribute to the resiliency of people and how resilient we are. It doesn't matter what we have to deal with, what we have to go through. We always find a way to come out on the other side. And so I'm very spiritual, and I have, faith in God. And I know that, God has worked in mysterious ways with this pandemic, because I know a lot of people lost their lives. And so it wasn't a fabulous thing for everyone, but for some people, they had the opportunity to slow down and kind of, figure out, hey, I'm going to now try this. And the other thing that came out of the pandemic for me was I actually decided to move forward with pursuing what I do in sports and entertainment, which is I work with athletes and artists, because I love artists and I love athletes, and that's, my thing. And I'm looking to move that forward. And so that's what's come out of the pandemic for me. So hopefully in the fall, I'll be ready to publish this new book of poetry that really, really gets into the resiliency of people and culture. And then also just really, really taking off with my sports and entertainment consulting business. So I'm really looking forward to that. I just decided, hey, you're not getting any younger. Time is going on, and you're getting closer to fives in front of your ages than you ever thought you would be. So let's get moving with this situation. Basically, is what I decided.
Yes. That is absolutely amazing. Tons of accomplishments. I'm looking forward to the book and the poetry. I'm looking forward to everything that you have going on for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mel B. McGinnis, attorney and member of Ladies in Film and Television, and then the Writers Room. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye. Wow, what another fantastic interview from the writing room. One of our writers from Sea Blues, Miss Mel B. McGinnis, ladies and gentlemen. That was an amazing, amazing interview. I am so excited to interview her. And it looks like I have an old friend who's coming back to see me today, who I got to interview on Monday or earlier this week. We have Lanita Bryant in the building today. Lanita!
Hi!
Welcome back. I am so happy to see you today.
Same. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm on day 3 of interviews. I've had a fantastic week. I'm running on coffee and water and jet fuel. I'll be, hosting and working next week as well. So I'm excited to have you back here with me today. And just a brief recap, since we kind of like picking it up where we left off. Where are you in the world?
I'm all over. Everywhere.
All over, everywhere. I'll take that. And so for our guest, this is Lanita Bryant, and you are an actress. You've been acting since you were very little, and it just says that you've been in short films and stage plays. So go ahead and tell us the character that you play in Sea Blues.
So the character that I play in Sea Blues is Nurse Cassie. People call her Casey. She is a little ball of energy, fire, love. And she's really serious about her job. That's for sure.
Yes, yes. She's an amazing character, full of passion and energy, like you said. So just how long have you been acting? Where did you get your start?
So I officially sink my teeth in it in 2017. I was in my first stage play kind of by default. I went to help out someone, with their casting process. They had me read a few lines and I ended up getting a call back. And I was like, okay, God, this is what I want to do anyway. So ever since then, I've just been auditioning and really trying to just put my all into it.
Really, really good. So with this process for Sea Blues, everybody's been filming from home, right? So this whole process, to my understanding, has been a virtual one. Can you tell me, what was it like filming from home?
In the beginning, the first season, the first episode, it was extremely challenging. But to be able to work with everyone, even virtually, we all kind of just helped each other out. Everything that we were missing, it's okay, well, iron your green screen and do this and do it this way. So we were able to come together and help each other. We have an incredible cast, director, the writers are wild. And so, yeah, it's a little Sea Blues family that we've kind of, developed over time. So it's been good. I've learned a lot. I'll tell you that.
So in the process of working from home, what did you like the most about that process?
Learning new things. I learned everything I needed to know about self-tape, and that has enabled me to, so that I'm not missing out on any auditions, basically. Because when everything shut down, that's right when I was getting in the motions of going out to auditions, getting new headshots, and the world just stopped.
Yeah.
And I was well, I've got to find a different way. But with Sea Blues, we learned how to do it from scratch.
And I find that to be invaluable because you learn things that you could use to propel your career. Now with the world changing, everybody is doing self-tapes right at home. And the key to a good audition from home is a good self-tape. So from what I understand, Jeanette has prepared and equipped you all with how to create a good home, self-tape.
So yes, so Jeanette is just incredible. I mean, I'd never even heard of a self-tape. And when she wanted to do it, I was like, okay, I trust you. So then after that, everybody just started to do the self-tape. And it's been crazy.
Yeah, you guys have been doing an amazing job with filming from home, virtually. So, we talked about some of the positive aspects of filming from home. Is there anything that you didn't like about that process?
I really love being around other people and feeding off their energy in every scene. And it was very tricky to, if you have to cry on cue or something behind somebody else's line, it's but it worked out.
Yeah, it did. It really did. I've watched season 1 2 times, and it just was in sync. Everything flowed, especially the dynamics between your character and the doctor. It was just so amazing. I mean, and even with you, that's why I was asking about your background. You have Cassie has such a natural wit and grace about her. There's layers to her character, and it really just draws me in. I really can't wait, to see more of your character. You did an amazing job.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And so with that being said, we're talking about your character. Who is your favorite character on Sea Blues and why?
Oh my goodness. I have a couple of favorites. Pastor Quigley. He's a hoot. I mean, everything from his accent to his delivery is crazy. Nurse Nedra, I know on screen we bicker back and forth, but she puts everything into that character. Just everybody has something unique about them, and I feel like Sea Blues wouldn't be what it is without every single person that's a part of it.
Yeah, I agree. It's such an amazing amount of chemistry. Like, I couldn't fathom how you guys created such organic chemistry when some of you guys are countries away, oceans away, hundred miles away, and all in separate buildings and vicinities. You all have different things going on in your life, but the chemistry and the way that it flows was just so perfect. It just was a beautiful, cohesive storyline, and the energy and the chemistry between you and your co-stars was just absolutely amazing. So we're getting ready to go into season 2, or play season 2. Without giving it away, can you tell me, what do you think that the audience is going to take away without giving it away? Is there going to be an underlying theme as it relates to family or unity? What do you think we're going to take away from an audience perspective when we see season 2?
I won't speak of it as a whole, the whole takeaway. I feel like every single viewer will be able to relate to at least one character in one scenario. So there's something for everybody. I mean, it's put on your seatbelt. Let's just say that, because reading it, I was just like, what? We're going to do what? And she did what? Like, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
The writers are amazing.
Absolutely. I'm in awe. Not only, like you say, the writers are amazing. What an amazing cast. The cast is absolutely amazing. So, what do you have going on that you can speak of? What's next for you? What's next for Lanita?
Oh my goodness. So at the moment, I have a couple of stage plays that are coming out. There's one called A Secret Lie in Love. It's crazy. August the 28th at the Uptown Theater. I will also be in another stage play called Skin Deep, and that'll be out. We will be on stage October the 17th.
Okay.
And I just finished up a film with Gregory Smith. He's incredible. It's called A Beautiful Voice. The cast is amazing. I mean, I just love it. But in this moment right now, the focus is Sea Blues. The second season.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely amazing. So focus right now is Sea Blues, the second season. So, I've been asking today, we've all made it through what I believe is the worst parts of this pandemic. But what I've noticed, okay. So it looks like we're done with that interview. That was Lanita Bryant, and you can follow her on Instagram at Lanita Bryant Official. Once again, her Instagram is Lanita Bryant Official. Please be sure to check her out, ladies and gentlemen. That was another amazing okay. Well, do we have you back here? Can you hear me?
It's crazy.
Okay, I can hear you.
I can. Can you hear me? I'm so sorry. It just went out.
Okay. I have one more question for you, and I was going to ask you about the pandemic and me believing that, hopefully that the worst part is over, but many of us have had a second chance in certain aspects, of life. We've, in that pandemic, had a time to sit and reflect with self. And in that sitting, we birthed something new. I got back into broadcasting. Is there anything that, positive that came out of the pandemic for you? That you want to share with us, like you decided to act again or write again, or did you or just self-care? Could you just share with us, something positive that came out of this experience for you?
Yes, absolutely. So I've always had a lot of faith in God, of course, but I feel like in this time I've been able to grow closer to him.
Yeah.
My family. And I've really been able to dive into my craft. I mean, I've learned so much, and also I just started school. I never thought that I would go to college this late, but I'm excited about it all.
That's an exciting endeavor. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you on season 2 of Sea Blues. It's been an honor and pleasure to interview you today. I have your Instagram. Make sure everyone follows Lanita Bryant Official. That's Lanita Bryant Official on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thanks. Another amazing interview, ladies and gentlemen. So we're in day 3 of our interviews with the cast and crew from Sea Blues, and I am so excited. What an amazing interview today. Those are all of them were amazing. So let me just see what we have coming up next here. Okay, so I am so excited to interview this dynamic woman here. We're going to have Asante McGee. Hi, Asante.
Hey.
Hello. Welcome to the show. I am so excited to have you here today. Where in the world are you?
I'm at home in Atlanta.
ATL in the house. That is amazing. ATL is in the building tonight. I am so excited to have you. I'm just looking over your bio, and I am just blown away. So, okay, wow. And so, tell me your character's name in Sea Blues and about your experience with this cast and crew.
My character name is Patricia.
Okay.
Married to Michael Sr. And
Okay.
Not to give too much away, but if you've seen the first season, you would know pretty much my husband cheated on me and had another child on me. So Patricia acts kind of crazy.
Oh yes, honey. I know about Patricia. So was this your first time acting? How long have you been acting?
This is my first time. Corona Blues is the first acting gig that I was able to get, and I'm very blessed and grateful for the opportunity. And then to even be able to come on season 2 was a huge blessing as well. So at first I was a little nervous, and the more I did it with Miss Jeanette, she brought out stuff out of me that I didn't know that I had. So like I said, I was nervous the first time and didn't know what to do, and I was just shy. But the more and more, then the cast just like pretty much welcomed me with open arms.
Yes, that is amazing. So, first time actor, you did an amazing job. I loved your character. I was kind of scared. A little bit, but I was like, okay, Miss Patricia, she is an amazing character. So, how were you able to create, Patricia's persona, like that character? Was there anybody like in your real life that reminded you of her, auntie and your cousin? How were you able to build Patricia's character?
Personal experience from my ex. I was actually Patricia in real life. So just actually living it was a little bit easy, but I was shy at the same time. So I just had to keep thinking about how angry I was when I found out, my husband was cheating on.
Okay. I can't. Can you hear me, Asante? Can you hear me? I can't. You can't hear me either. Okay. I'm going to see if I can get someone from tech. We're having some audio issues. If you could advise what we should do. Can you hear me now, Asante? No, you can't hear me. Okay. All right, you guys, we're just having some technical difficulties here. Definitely not to worry. We'll be back online with the amazing Asante McGee. She's an actress and a business owner. I'm going to log out and log back in. Be right back.
Calling from a different number?
Mama, what you and Miss Gertie fighting about now?
Mom, I have to pee, and quit leaving your door unlocked.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Shayna Stone with Ladies in Film and Television, and I'll be conducting interviews this week with the cast from Sea Blues. Be sure to tune in.
Hey everybody, it's about that time. Shayna Stone will be live with Ladies in Film and Television tonight. Join us now.
We're having some technical difficulties, but nonetheless, we're definitely going to keep it going. We're just waiting for Miss Asante to come back here with us today. I believe we have her back now, just waiting to see if the audio is working.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I surely can.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I'm not either. These technical issues, they happen all the time. So you were telling me before we had those difficulties how you were able to draw on Patricia's character from your own personal experiences.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, I was once married, and my husband cheated on me and had an outside child. So I was able to constantly think about the pain and the hurt that I went through. And so I think that's why I was able to continue playing Patricia.
Wow. I understand. So we know that Patricia's in season 1 and season 2. What was it like filming from home virtually? So this is your first time as an actress, and that's okay.
Okay.
I was going to say, I've lots of difficulties. Let me gather myself here. Gather my thoughts. So what I was saying is that this is your first time acting, and then now you're filming from home. So first time actress, and then you have to film virtually. What was that process like?
It was kind of hard because you had to be able to film in a certain angle. So at first I was like filming wrong, and then I sent everything in that I thought I did something right, and the parts was good, but I didn't film it the way that they needed me to film. So I had to redo it. And then like Miss Jeanette had to give me feedback. Okay, no, you did this part good, but you need to go back and re-record it, but give me a little bit more of this. And I think the hardest thing for me was for me to cry. I'm so numb to all of the situations that I've gone through that it's hard for me to just make myself cry. because I think I've cried so much through the pain that I've gone through. And that's the hardest thing that I have right now, is to force myself to cry when I need to cry for these scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that being said, so you're first time actor, but you're also have a nonprofit called GAS, GAS. What does that acronym stand for? Can you tell us more about your nonprofit?
Yes, GAS was named after my 3 kids, Gerald, Santiera, and Serenity. And when I think of GAS, I think about my children, because my children gave me the reason to continue living. It's times that I fell into depression that I wanted to give up, but I knew I couldn't give up because of my children. And all of the abuse that I've gone through, child abuse as well as marital abuse, my nonprofit is to help those that's been abused, both men and women. Because one thing I've learned why I was not able to get out my abusive situation sooner is because it was either I was in the wrong zip code, I was too old, or I had too many kids. It was always something that stopped me from being able to get the help that I needed to escape my abuser.
Wow, what a dynamic story. Okay, yeah, wow. Okay. So you create, so GAS, that's your children's initials, and then when I think of gas, I think of gas as a fuel. So your children help fuel you to move forward. So
Yes.
You think of gas, like you put gas in a car as a fuel, and that fuel helps that vehicle drive. So your children, GAS, helped you propel forward in your life.
Yes.
Wow, that is, I get that. That's amazing. That's amazing. So now, now I understand the depth of Patricia and how she had that tough persona and that exterior, because she's been through so much, and you were able to draw from those experiences in real life to develop that character. You're definitely, that's natural talent, and it takes a lot of strength for someone to draw on those painful moments and to turn that into a character, and to do that on your first time acting. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Amazing accomplishment. So we talked about you filming at home. What did you like the least about it? I know, or matter of fact, let me back up. We talked about it. You told me what you liked the least about it. Were there any positive aspects of filming virtually that you can think of? Like, is there any parts of it that you liked?
Yes. The fact that they gave us a time frame, but you was able to get mentally prepared to do it, versus like I've done an acting scene in March. I had to fly to LA, and I had to be there, and it's like I was there all day for at least 8 to 12 hours, and we had to keep doing the parts over and over, versus when it's virtually, you can just keep repeating the same scene over and over and just send so many takes and let them pick which take you want. So say if something is due by a certain time, it's up to you if you decide to wait to the deadline to get it done, or if you do it before the deadline, but they have a whole bunch of scenes to choose from.
Yeah. Yep. That is totally correct. So now we're going to talk about characters other than yourself, because you are an amazing character. Patricia is awesome. Who is your favorite character and why?
My husband on there is really crazy.
Yeah.
It's like it's that love and hate relationship. And I want to say, can I think? It's his daughter, the child that he had on me. She's this innocent person, Justice. She's this innocent kid that's been put in this situation. Her mama is being like this real butthole and just feels like she's entitled to everything, not realizing or not accepting the fact that, she was the other woman, and she just feel like she deserved the same treatment as the wife. And she, giving Justice like, okay, now you get to meet your daddy. We about to be this happy family. Justice is old enough to know, like, no, mama, this is not cool.
Exactly. That's true. I think I agree. She's an amazing actress, and her character is very dynamic and powerful. That is absolutely amazing. So if you want to tell us, what do you have going on next? So now you get to add actress to your title. What's going on next? What do you have coming up that you can share with us?
I do have a speaking event in Dallas, Texas on June 19th. Just talking about business owners, being a business owner during the pandemic. So I do have that going on. Other than that, I still have my HVAC plumbing company. So I am a female in a male dominant world.
Wow. Can you wait a minute? Run that back. Can you tell us about that briefly?
Yes.
Wow.
I own a HVAC plumbing business here in Atlanta, Georgia. I service residential as well as commercial. So, and that's my baby. That's my pride and joy.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. You are doing that thing in a male dominant industry. You run your own HVAC and plumbing company.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. So, I've been asking this question all night. I'm just curious to know, in this pandemic, what did you learn new about yourself? Can you tell me something positive that was birthed during the pandemic? You know, for me, I was saying I got back into broadcasting, haven't been in this industry in over 20 years, but I said, what do I have to lose? Because tomorrow is not promised. Did you get any inspiration? Did you start anything new?
Yes. During the pandemic, my HVAC and plumbing business had slowed down because of COVID. So, I couldn't get as many jobs as I was. So I'm like, okay, I need multiple streams of income. So that's when I thought about trucking business. They needed trucks to be able to transport the essentials and whatever else. So right now I am in the process. I've already got my authority and everything right now. So right now I'm in the process of purchasing, a few 18-wheelers. So at least start off with 2 and put them on the road and see where that goes. So I don't want to depend on just one job, just in case of this pandemic happen again, and not even just a pandemic. I want to be able to leave something for my kids. I don't want them to have to always work for somebody else. I want my kids to be able to take over the HVAC business. They take over the plumbing business as well as the trucking business, as well as help with the nonprofit. I don't want them to have to depend on a paycheck from somebody else. I want them to be able to create their own paycheck.
Flat out. That's called legacy building. You are a legacy builder. That is exactly what we all should be doing and should be striving to be doing. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to follow Asante on Instagram at Asante_McGee. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a great evening.
Ladies
and gentlemen, Asante McGee. Please follow her on Instagram at Asante_McGee. Another fantastic interview. I am just in awe with the dynamic cast and crew of Sea Blues. This has been an amazing night of interviews. And last, but definitely not least, we have Michael Drake Jr. MJ is in the building. Last interview of the night. I am so excited to interview Michael Drake Jr. Hi, what's going on, Michael J? How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's a pleasure to have you today. So let me see here. I have a bio on you. It says Michael J. You are actually an aspiring filmmaker. It says join filmmaking industry. Since you were little, you've been watching films of superheroes. Okay. Filmmaking. So, okay, and acting. Okay, and music. Okay. So you're a triple threat. Right? We got acting. I see the word music. I see film directing. So you do it all. That is absolutely amazing. Can you tell me who you play and the name of your character in Sea Blues?
Okay, so my character's name is Matthew Jr. He's the son of the infamous Matthew and Patricia. He's kind of more like this, kind of shy, kind of not guy. He definitely values family a lot, which, as you can see, when he felt like his family was falling apart, kind of sent him over the edge, leading him to where he is now. But yeah, he's definitely a pretty cool dude, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. That is pretty cool. So tell me a little bit, how long have you been acting? Did you start off acting first? Did you start off in music? Tell me how you began your career in the entertainment industry.
I've actually been acting for about maybe 3 or 4 years now. I started off I had started off in a musical actually for Shrek. And so that was actually my very first audition, actually, and I ended up getting the lead role. So that was kind of big for me. But
Wow. Wait a minute. First audition, lead role.
yes, ma'am.
Amazing.
It was definitely an experience, and I definitely enjoyed it. Um, and after that, I've kind of been leaning more towards film right now. I like to be kind of behind the scenes, and I kind of like to dibble dabble as well in front of this camera as well. But I think right now I'm leaning more towards filming and directing and stuff like that.
That's absolutely amazing. So, from my understanding, everybody's been filming from home virtually. What was that experience like for you? So now, with you being a little bit younger, I'm sure it was a breeze compared to us adults who can't seem to do anything right. Can you tell me about your experience filming from home and what that was like for you?
Yeah, no, I think you got it right. It was it was pretty easy. I actually had to help my dad out a lot with his filming, but I mean, it was definitely an experience. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was nice to be able to have kind of like that independent feelings, like kind of like you're your own boss type of thing. Like you film when you have the chance. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was pretty smooth.
Yeah. Was there anything that you didn't like about the process of filming from home?
I think kind of like everyone else, I definitely prefer to be in person and have like that in-person connection when you're actually doing the acting. But that and then like kind of you have to stay motivated and like you have to be able to push yourself to get up and actually film since you don't have to report to anybody. It's kind of like you have to be there for yourself and keep yourself going. Kind of.
Yeah, and that's the same like with you guys. I don't know if you had to go to school from home. You really had to really rely on self and self motivation to get up and go to class. Now I got to motivate myself to get up and film, even though that's my passion. This is something I really enjoy doing. You still have to have that self motivation to even get up and do it because we have to do it for school. I have to do it for work. And like this is a passion what I do now, but I still have to motivate myself to get up and after work and do this. So I definitely can relate, and I do understand how important self-motivation is during this time. Were you always self-motivated, or did this pandemic help you strengthen those motivation skills?
Um, I mean, I've kind of always maybe had a little bit of self-motivation, but if I'm being honest, the pandemic kind of brought it down a bit. I mean, kind of just being to yourself and having that time to
Yeah.
think, it's kind of brings you down a bit. But I mean, I'm getting back up there though.
That's pretty good, and that's good to know. So we talked about your character. How much of Matthew is an MJ? Were you able to draw from your own personal experiences or from a friend's experience to help develop that character?
Yes, I was actually kind of able to draw from my own experience, just having to like adjust with like the different family stuff that may have happened, being able to kind of deal with that. Maybe not deal with it the way that he did,
Right.
trying, shoot your father or anything like that, but definitely having to like go through that and like just sort it out and kind of come to terms with it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's understandable. So, with that being said, without giving too much away, there's always a core theme to a project or to a film. And when you think about season 2, what do you think us from an audience perspective is going to take away? Whether it's family uh, unity or self motivation, or what do you think one of the core themes or common takeaway would be for the audience? Like I said, without telling the audience, we don't want to spoil it, but giving it away. But what do you think that, like the essence or the heartbeat of that season would be?
I'd probably say the core theme for me would probably be just truth, I guess.
Truth.
Yeah.
And that's individually, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So everybody, I think you're saying everybody, every character has their individual truth and their perspective to that truth. Is that a fair analysis?
Yeah, I think that hits it.
That's pretty cool. So, you can tell me more about you. What grade are you going to? Are you done with school this year? You know, what other endeavors you have that you want to share with us? I just want to hear more about you.
So for me personally, actually yesterday I graduated from high school. So I'm happy about
Congratulations.
that. But yeah, that was definitely a big accomplishment for me. I'm definitely glad to be moving on to the next chapter. Right now I'm actually planning to get ready for college to further pursue my dream of becoming like a filmmaker, director, and help
Yes.
advance me towards that. But I mean, yeah, that's what I got going on for right now.
That's amazing. So you wanna, when you go to college, you wanna go into filmmaking. So we were talking about more director, more behind the camera things. Is that right?
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. I
That is wonderful.
definitely have like this passion because like a lot of times I have like different stories that come to mind, and I
Mhm.
think right now I really just want to bring those stories to life. And being a filmmaker and director makes that an easy way to do it. And so I think that's kind of what I want to pursue right now. Yeah.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So it looks like we have your Instagram. I wanted to see how we can contact you, and it's Michael J03 underscore on Instagram.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely amazing. Well, you know, I've been asking everybody the question of the night, and we were talking about, you know, the pandemic and what we, you know, what positive thing that, you know, we were able to bring out of ourselves. So, can you share with me, you know, in this pandemic, you know, you had to be at home, you had to go to school at home. There were so many things, but did you pick up a new skill? Did you pick up a new talent? Did you revisit something that you put down? Like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try again. Can you tell me something positive that came out of this pandemic for you?
Something positive for me was that I learned I'm more stronger than I thought, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So being that there was like the hard times of like having to stay motivated and things like that and just being alone, it kind of helped me realize that hey, like if I can get through that, like I can get through a lot of different stuff that I probably thought I wouldn't, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also kind of learned that I like to read, which I'm kind of shocked at. Given that in school, like every time they would bring up a book, I'm just like over it. But
Mm-hmm.
once I was able to sit down and like actually read one that I like, I was shocked. Like
Yeah,
I
and
like.
it was probably really entertaining because you got to pick the book and the genre, and it was probably really good. And like, hey,
Mhm.
I like this, so I'm gonna read it. I think a lot of people had lots of experiences with rediscovery of self and revisiting things that they didn't like, and then coming to find out, just like reading a book, you actually really like it. Now, I have to ask, what is it like working it with your dad? I've never. I'm thinking. So I have a sister and a brother that's in the entertainment industry, but we've never worked on the same project. What was that like?
Oh gosh,
Uh
it was
oh.
it, it was definitely a process. I mean, it was fun though. It was fun being able to like collaborate with my dad and like be able to see like all his different creative expressions come out. But like there was some times where like maybe we would butt heads over different stuff. But overall, like I definitely enjoyed the experience. We were able to kind of bond over it. It was definitely fun. I definitely don't regret it. It was
That I'm sure you don't. He's a lot of laughs. He is absolutely hilarious. So, did you pick up any of his comedic skills? Can we expect a little comedy from your character in the future?
I don't know. I mean, I may have to take a few more lessons, but I think I can get there maybe.
Right. I'm
Mhm.
sure it's in there. I'm sure it's in there. You know, it just has been an amazing interview. You just graduated high school. You're going into film. Um, we talked about. Wait, I didn't ask you about your musical ability. So, are you in a choir? Do you sing? Tell me more about that.
So as far as the music part, I think that was more so for the musical. How I managed to get that part, I don't know, but I'm not
Yeah.
really that good with singing. So
Mm-hmm.
as far as music, I don't really have too much experience going on with that aside from the musical. But
Okay.
yeah, yeah, that's kind of what that was.
Okay. So, what's the latest movie you watch? What do you have in your queue? I don't even think Netflix have queues anymore. I'm so old. Back in the day, we used to put movies in our Netflix queue. What's the latest inspiring movie that you watched? Anything you can think of that was really good or that you were able to draw from?
I think the one that I watched latest that I like is called Interstellar. I'm actually like I love space, and so that movie kind of
Sci-fi, right?
yeah.
Sweet.
That one was pretty good, and it was definitely had like a deeper meaning to it, and I definitely love films that have like a deeper surface than what is portrayed, and so I think that was definitely one of my favorites now.
That's pretty cool. So as far as a director, do you think you would even try to, venture off into sci-fi? Would that be one of the genres that you would be interested in filming?
Definitely. I definitely want to make stuff like space and like superhero stuff. Like I definitely always had an interest in that. So I definitely want to do something like
that. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I've had a ball. It was a pleasure interviewing you. I am looking forward to seeing you. Be sure to follow Michael on Instagram at MichaelJ03_. Once again on Instagram, that's MichaelJ03_. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. What another amazing night. Thank you so much for joining us. This was day 3 of interviews with the cast and crew of Sea Blues. Have a good night.